Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to the Popternative podcast. This is the podcast where we have digital discussions, the worlds of pop culture, social media, sports, film, TV, everything really. Sandlot, the baseball movie we all grew up to love, has turned 25 years old, and we're continuing on. We had Victor DiMattia on the show, who played Tommy Timmons, but we're continuing on. And sir, can you introduce yourself to our viewers?
I am Shane Obedzinski, and for the record, I am Tommy Timmons Repeat from the Sandlot.
Shane, welcome to Popternative, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. This is very cool what you're doing here. Very cool.
No, I appreciate it. So, 25 years, and so when I tell you that Sandlot has turned 25, what goes through your head?
Well, first, it makes me kind of feel old, but at the same time,
besides feeling old,
no. Like we saw each other in LA, I would say maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was all of us. The first time all of us have gotten together since we filmed it. Some of us got together at the 20th anniversary, but this was the majority of us. It really didn't feel like a whole lot of change. Like there's that cliche, nothing's changed, time, whatever. But it was literally like we just, woke up and we were back together hanging out. It's wild.
So take us through, 25 years ago when you were a little kid, Tommy Repeat Timmons. Take us through when you kind of found out you got the role, before you got the role. I mean, what were your kind of family and friends thinking about it? Did you kind of have an idea that it was going to turn into something special like it did?
Well, I wish we all would have known that it was going to turn into something wild like this.
So you could prepare for it, right?
That, some little things we would have changed, but no. Back then, I was doing a bunch of movies and commercials and auditioning for everything I could. I believe I drove out to Miami, which is about a 4.5-hour drive from where I'm at. Did the audition, got the call back, went out, did it again. Next thing I know, they're flying me out to LA to start table reading with the boys and to see if everything's going to go as smooth as they hope. And at that point, I don't know if I'd officially been offered the part yet, or if they were just still trying out everyone. So we went to the lodge and we just had a good time, but we also worked and tried to get the part and fought for it. And when you're 10, you don't really think of it like that. You're just, having a good time. But for whatever reason, they picked me over a bunch of other people who I'm sure would have done a great job too. And the rest is kind of history. After that, we went and started practicing baseball, and I don't know. And then you guys literally saw the rest.
Absolutely. Whether the actors liked baseball or not, you guys have become a huge part of baseball culture, and it's one of those things where you see the New York Yankees reenacting a scene.
Oh, yeah.
How do you what do you kind of think about that as 25 years later? You seeing wow, a professional athlete is reenacting a role that I once played when I was young, and this is still kind of fresh and new, every day. It's such a cool thing that they're kind of it's never gonna leave.
No, I hope not. It's very cool. No, seeing the guys do it, and the Brewers did it recently also.
Yes,
it's crazy humbling, man. We went to Anaheim and met up the Angels and got to meet them, backstage or, behind the scenes. And meeting them, they were just excited to meet us as we were them. And it's just very cool that something you did, whether it's, just because it's their sport, baseball, or just because they like movies, has had some sort of impact on what they're doing and how they live their life to the point where they want to reenact what we did. And at Halloween time, people dress up as us. And if you go to a comic convention, there's people dressed up as us. And it's hard to get your head around, man. But it's very humbling. I'm very thankful.
For people that follow you on social media, your Twitter bio.
Yeah, that's it. now. I'm the worst at social media.
Well, I'm just gonna say your Twitter bio is pretty like shows all the diverse skills, like actor, restaurateur, musician. So that's why I want to kind of talk to you about a little bit because the Sandlot, the music in the Sandlot is amazing. It's such a good soundtrack.
Yes,
When you guys, so it's a two-part question. One is about the Sandlot. When you guys kind of because you were kids at the time, right? And kids become easily obsessed over things, and kids, have a lot of hobbies. And when you guys rewatched the movie when it came out, did you guys kind of like the soundtrack and listen to songs from the movie? And did that like become part of your life at all? Because there's so many good songs, you know what I mean, in that movie.
Well, of course, Tequila, and I'm drawing a blank on who actually does it right now, but if I hear that anywhere, and I'm sure a lot of people do it too, they think of the Sandlot.
Absolutely.
And when you see the fireworks scene and they have America the Beautiful going on and all that stuff, not America the Beautiful, the other one, I'm sorry. When they're playing that music for the fireworks scene, it's wild, man. They did so well making the music a big part of some of those scenes that you hear it and then you think of the Sandlot, and then maybe that has something to do with the success of it.
And in film, like that was like the Sandlot music portion of the question. The just general music question is, I find a lot of people talk about like movies, like movie music and TV music, but you know what I find interesting and what's really impactful? Trailer music. No one talks about the music in a trailer because a trailer will like. If it's a good trailer, I will see the movie, and a big part of why it's a good trailer is the music they choose.
That's a good thing to point out, man. I mean, they got 30 seconds to a minute to entice you to go spend your money on a movie. They want to get all the feels, so that music can sometimes be intense and then just hit you with some emotion, and that's a really good thing to point out, man. I've never thought of that before.
Yeah, like Super Troopers 2 came out in the TV. Super Troopers 2 came out on Friday, and
right.
we actually had one of the cast members, Eric Stolhatsky, that played Rabbit. We had him on the show last week, which was really cool. And it's like the same 30-second trailer for Super Troopers 2 comes out, and there's this like French pop song they play that was also in a movie called Euro Trip, and
right.
It just works perfectly. And I went and I downloaded it on Spotify, and I can't stop listening to it. And it's probably not even going to be in the movie, and it's in the trailer.
Why not? That's wild. That's really cool.
Yeah, no, that was just what I was going to think of. What are some of the we all saw the interviews of the 25-year reunion with the Sandlot cast. I want to know two things. I want to know more about Basic Instinct that you guys snuck into, because no one seems to want to talk about that. So I need to know the details if you're allowed. Or is it like are you sworn to secrecy on that one?
There's a very, very small conversation we all had where we would kind of keep some of those details amongst ourselves. One, for story. Two, because I think we all secretly like the myth behind it.
But they probably knew who you guys were, though. They probably saw it. Were like, oh, they're not just kids. These kids. Like, they probably knew who you were.
I mean, I don't think they knew what we were in Utah doing, but I'm sure they all saw it. And they were like, yeah, those kids probably shouldn't be in there, but whatever. And I think it was the middle of the day, too. Everyone else was probably in school. I don't.
What scene was the hardest for you to do that maybe needed a lot more, like, now I understand this was a long time ago, so maybe
right.
But I'm sure you remember was there kind of some scenes that were kind of hard that you were laughing a lot or other people were laughing? Like, I'm sure Marty York, I'm sure, like, I can just think of it, there must have been so many different takes for that, because he's probably saying something funny and he's improvising and everyone else is laughing and they have to yell cut. Like, was there a lot of like distraction on the scene? Because you are kids, right? Like, it's gonna happen.
Right. No, yeah, there's always distraction, and some of that they were able to film and use it for the movie, us just having a good time, and some of that stuff's real. Mm-hmm. I mean, behind the scenes, there was a couple scenes. A lot of the stuff in the treehouse, we would get yelled at a lot because we would move around the stuff inside the treehouse, whether it's like the baseball cards in the back or the little toys, and they have to keep it in the same spot, to make the film continuous. So we would move it all around, and they would get so mad at us. And Shane, put this back because the scene 10 seconds ago, it wasn't there. You moved it. Okay, I'm sorry. They were always giving us help for that. But yeah, when you get a bunch of kids together between 9 and 11, 9 and 12, I'm sure they had a harder time keeping us together than we realized. We were probably a handful.
It's really funny because, if we talk about like I don't want to get to your favorite scenes, but like my favorite scenes are kind of small scenes that me and my sister have the inside joke about that, might not be someone else's favorite, like bit of an afterthought. We always laugh at the trio scene where Smalls is being shown how to make s'mores. And you just hear someone, I don't know if it was you or Victor, but someone just yells like, "You're going to set this place on fire, Ham."
Oh my God, I hear that again. I've probably heard it 1,000 times now. I'm not thinking
It's not really it's just in the background, right? Then someone else says like, "Ham, make me one of those s'mores." And then they tell the story, but you just hear it so directly, kind of like almost like from like a broken telephone. Like all you hear is like, "You're gonna set this place on fire, Ham." And we just
that could have been us just playing around, having a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. My mom's favorite scene, I brought up when I had Vic on the show, is the vacuum scene. What would be one of your favorite scenes in that movie?
Oh man, if I had to break it down from a viewer point of view, I think the fireworks scene is the best. That anyone can watch that scene, doesn't matter how old you are, and just appreciate how well it's done. We're all just, the fireworks are exploding. It's awesome. From being there and filming it, anything in the treehouse, man. A lot of the stuff, the one where we had the erector set to fire the ball over the fence. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I mean, that whole treehouse set to me is still so vivid in my head. Anything with that, I just absolutely love.
I think you mentioned that too in some of the interviews.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's a lot of press. You guys did a lot of press for that 25 year. There's so many different interviews.
Yeah, that was a very, very busy day.
Was that all one day?
That was all one day, and there's actually more to come out. They haven't released yet.
Wow. And another thing too, what I find interesting is I don't think people are realizing, it's like there's a lot of wacky moments, but it's definitely, that a coming of age film in many regards too, right? These kids are growing up, And what I find interesting is I like what you can kind of apply it to today's, social dynamics. For example, you have like back then, now there's always bullying. There was always people making fun of people. And what I find really nice about the Sandlot that people don't talk about is here you have Benny Rodriguez, the most popular jock, right? The best baseball player, right? Kind of like the leader of the pack, like so to speak. You know what I mean? And
for sure,
he sees Smalls and kind of invites him and takes him in part of the group, right? And I just like that aspect of it. You know what I mean? It's a nice little it's a nice little message, so to speak, from the film. I find that I think gets a little like left in the shadows a little bit.
No, you're right. There's I've heard it explained before that there's an article that's very old, but it goes around. It says the Sandlot can teach you everything you need to know about life. Mm-hmm. And one of the things they bring up is how the cool kid, Benny, just sees the outsider and brings him in, doesn't ask questions. And there's a lot of metaphors they use that how we act, how we are, and how you can apply it to daily life, especially if you're a kid growing up. And they say it's you can learn everything you need to know about life from the Sandlot, and that's one, very, very wild that they came up with that, but two, it's partly true. I mean, the movie speaks to people, and it gives a good message, no matter who you are, where you come from, you can be a part of something special, and that's very, very cool.
But it's also a film that's in the high rotation for so many like families, so many holidays. Like Victor was telling me, he knows some people that are watching it around Christmas time, and it's one of those things where all you kids from the movie are, like it or not, a part of everyone's childhood. And so my question is, do you ever see yourself as that like indirect role model? I mean, you're not really like, it's kind of hard, right? But it's like, it's difficult, but everyone kind of sees you guys, right? Everyone that maybe like thinks of themselves when they're going to play with friends at the ballpark. They think of the Sandlot crew, right?
A lot of times, yeah. A lot of times we're just in that, default mode in people's mind where things happen and they think of us or what we would do or what we did. And it's hard for me to think of myself as a role model in that aspect, but to be a part of something, whether it was something I did in the movie or we did as a whole, to positively affect anyone's life is the biggest compliment I could ever receive.
Mm-hmm. So now, well, this is kind of like the "Where are they now?" point of the show. So you mentioned, some of the other things you're doing. Like, what's Shane up to now, post Sandlot?
Well, this exact moment, I'm sitting in my restaurant.
What's it called?
It's Times Square Pizza Company. It's in Tampa, Florida. Yeah. I'm here quite often. I work a lot and I travel a lot. Right now, we're all riding the wave of this 25th anniversary, and some of us are still acting. And I know I've done some things in the last couple of years a little bit, and I'm hoping to get back into it a little more now. A lot of my focus went to the restaurant for a while, but I'm about to step out from that and do some more things. And I still play music. I play the drums, and
I play the drums
man,
too.
Life is good.
That's why they call me PD Beats. That's where I got that from.
Nice.
No, it's one of those things where it was and I kind of stopped playing for a little bit, but it was just something they called me in when I was doing some radio as well. I had like a metal rock phase, and I had like a radio show on my local college radio station, and I was called DJ PD Beats, and it just stuck, So
that's a cool name.
No, it is for sure. But Shane, I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on the show. I mean, it's like I said, it was a long time ago, but it's awesome that you're still down, to talk about it. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's every day. It's a part of my life and everyone else who's involved in this movie. It's a part of our lives every day, and I can't deny it, and I don't want to. It's very, very cool, and we're all very thankful that people, especially people like you, are still wanting to keep spreading the message, and we need more movies like The Sandlot.
Oh, I agree.
That can just good for the family and good for everyone, and I don't know. We need that right now.
Possible sequel or spin-off, maybe? I mean, Victor was kind of hinting that there might be something in the works.
Well, I think it was today or yesterday. DME, the director, David Mickey Evans, was tweeting some stuff about what you just said, and I don't know how much is public yet, so I'm not going to speak anything. But you're there. You're right there.
Well,
so
if it does happen, hopefully the whole crew is back, because that'd be awesome. And
we're all hoping for certain things and keeping fingers crossed. But there's going to be some announcements in the next couple of months that's going to definitely surprise some people. And there's some big things coming your way, Sandlot related, man. My friend.
That's awesome. I think basically you did the 20-year anniversary. There's a lot of buzz, and then the 25-year, and it just, the timing I just think is amazing. I feel like there's been a Sandlot boom all of a sudden.
It is. I mean, between going to the mall and all the stores having your face on a shirt and stickers, and it's, I don't know, there's something special going on out there, and it's cool.
Well, it's really funny because we had I had Paul on my show from a show called Kim's Convenience on CBC in Canada, and it's a pretty successful sitcom over here right now, based at Toronto, and he was wearing, I taped with him today, and he was wearing a "You're Killing Me" Small shirt. I know, I love the timing of it, just with having you and that Victor. I was awesome. Like, I know, what are the odds though?
It's worked its way into everyday life somehow, and I don't know, it takes something special for that to happen, and it's, I don't know, it's very cool. Our fans are awesome. No. Our fans are next level.
Die Hard, man. It's Die Hard. That Sandlot and Mighty Ducks.
That's a good one too.
Brandon. And Mike, who played Benny.
Oh my
He's in
God,
the
yeah, I
second
forgot.
one.
Yeah, duh. Yeah.
He was in the second and third. He played Luis Mendoza. He played the player from Miami, Florida that didn't know how to stop. He was
Right?
like, yeah, he was a fast skater, but he didn't know how to stop.
Yep. Funny.
It was pretty funny. But Shane, thank you so much. Where can people follow you on social media though, if they want to kind of keep up?
If they want to figure out my crazy last name, Shane Obedzinski across the board. Twitter, Facebook. I just started the Instagram thing. As I said, I'm not too good at social media, but I'm trying. It's whatever.
Perfect, perfect. Well, this has been Pop Turnative. Until next time, this is Shane and PDB signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Pop Turnative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Pop Turnative on YouTube. Be sure to like Pop Turnative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.